All right, thank you everyone for joining us this evening in our celebration of light, which is an opportunity for our Thomas Edison Art Club students and music students to exhibit their works of art. We have a wonderful evening set up for you. We have musical performances, we have poetry readings, we have an exhibition of artwork and a silent auction of our artwork as well. And what we're going to do this evening is start off with a little bit of music. We have Miss Maria Siewert, our music teacher here, and some of you may know her from previous engagements or different musical performances. And she's here to let you know a little bit about what these third graders have worked on, as well as the fifth graders. So let's introduce Miss Maria Siewert.
Good evening. If you're okay hearing me, I'll just speak from here. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah. Okay, great. Well, welcome. It's a pleasure to be able to share a few things that we've been doing in our classes. And these are some students from our third grade classes, mostly from Mrs. Randolph's class. And they're going to be sharing a little bit of what we've done with recorders since January. We'll be starting with songs that have 1 or 2 notes in them, and then adding up to 3 notes. And our first song is called Swing Ba, or Swing B-A, because it uses 2 notes, B's and A's. To help us understand how the music is put together, the form of the music. So Gaga has a pattern of 4 measures that we repeat several times. Making use of G's, A's, and B's. we do a game, it's called our improv game, and we have a pattern that everybody plays, or a call, and then one person can make up their own answer, however they want to play it. So this is our improv game, and this game helps us to create music and gives us tools for creating different patterns, and we can have a lot of fun. So this is our improv game. Okay, and ask every time, who wants to play a solo? There's always a lot of people.
Okay.
But he wrote his song called Raven Song, and we'd like to play that for you today. Our last song with these wonderful third grade students will be Mary Had a Little Lamb. following group is our drum club, and this group of individuals have been rehearsing since January in the afternoons for an hour after school, and then after March, where we participated with 4 other elementary schools in a large drum festival. After that, we went to a morning group, and these are our die-hard drummers who came at 7:30 every Thursday morning. So, since March. We'll be playing 3 pieces today. The first 2 pieces are pieces that they composed, that we worked out as a group. We decided what layers we wanted to add to our ensemble, and we put it together. So our first piece is called Mojo Jojo, and that is in honor of my brother's fish. I will drum the what's for lunch question. It sounds like this. And then in the space after that, the same amount of space, each student will drum whatever they want to fit that space. So we'll start with George. Decided they wanted to make a song about the Chargers, and they wanted to use the rhythm of the Chargers. So, Kylie, would you say, where are you, Kylie? Right there, right next to me. Kylie, would you say the first line of one of the parts in our piece? And then would you drum it and sing? So that's one of our layers in our piece. And then Aaron, if you would do our other layer. And we have another layer. So all those three layers are going to be in our piece, and this is the piece they came up with completely. Awesome. Fill the space to find those couple beats where they can make a rhythm pattern that they choose to, and almost everyone wants to, almost every time. So this is called Fun, Fun, Fun. You are not doing solo beats this time.
Come on, come on.
to congratulate Miss Seward on her wonderful performance with the kids. It looks like most of them left. We do have some recorder kids still out in the audience, and we do have some of the drummers in our art club, as well as a few having some snacks in the back. And I just wanted to commend her on allowing these students the chance to create their own songs, to orchestrate, to be writers. You don't see that a lot in elementary levels too much. Usually you're just reiterating what the teacher tells you and what you need to do. But it's kind of nice that we have this opportunity tonight to have the students be the ones in charge. Kind of huddling up over there, but that's a good sign, you know. They're getting ready to go. And that's part of our process too. What we've done today is not so much a product. It was a process. It was a 12-week or 10-week-long gifted and talented course, and these students engaged in lots of different activities with photography, with writing. There were some errors, and through some of these errors, there were some successes. And with this, you can see the incredible caliber of work that these kids have created for us to see this evening. And that's why we're here, to celebrate the arts. What I wanted to start off with is stating that, to me, it's kind of hard to compliment these kids on their artwork because there's so many words that come to mind, but none of these words actually concisely say what I feel that these portray. So in this situation, I think less is more when I'm regarding what I'm saying, and I think the pictures themselves speak for themselves. And as you can observe, you may have noticed too that most of the subject matter that we photographed is organic in nature. You can see that we decided to use the subject matter of rocks and sticks and leaves and twigs, pine cones, and whatever else we could find that is from our outside world. What these students did, though, is they took these organic shapes and they made them into something different. They changed their entity entirely. And to quote an artist, M.C. Escher, some of you may have seen his work, he was an artist that actually took something simple, something basic, something so ordinary, and made it into something extraordinary. He tried to create a world in which people didn't always see things the way they were. They had to think about it. They had to elicit new feelings and new emotions and new thoughts. And that's what these pictures exactly provoke. What we did, though, is instead of just taking a simple photograph and taking that as is, we decided to bring that photograph, a digital photograph, into the computer. We altered it, changed it into a black and white format. We had the students go ahead and play with different editing tools on the computer. Some of them were negative, some of them were reverse. We altered the image by skewing that and transposing it, reversing it. Oh gosh, we just explored with lots of different techniques. And as I was stating, some of the kids may think that their artwork wasn't strong enough, but each and every one has something to say in its own entity. And some of them are kind of fun too. I've noticed that if you look at the ones on the wall compared to some that are in the publication, some in the publication almost bring you into a different world. Some of them remind you of some sort of alien life form or some sort of insect or some sort of robot or whatever else your mind can conjure up. So these students have worked hard and succeeded in taking those tools and those media and coming up with something special and making something fun. This is something that Picasso tried to do all of his life, and you guys have achieved it just like that. Also, too, a final note, again, referring back to the photography on the wall compared to the publication. Usually in art, I always say you must have the freedom. Art is a class where you're free to explore, there's no right or wrong. But in the same sense, when you come up with a publication and you have to make something professional, such as we did with our magazine, you do have to follow a format. So with that freedom, there is some structure. So in doing so, some of the photos have been like altered per se. They've been duplicated or reversed to kind of conjure up some different ideas and also to make them fit within those guidelines of design. You have to make sure that the composition is strong. You have to make sure that things are balanced. And those are things that only come after years and years of trial and error. So Ms. Alderman and I, we worked hard to make sure that these photographs fit into that format to make this publication. So the photographs themselves still remain intact and their integrity is still there. We haven't done anything to detract from that. But we did want to explain the process from beginning to end and tell you a little bit about how and why these things were created. And what we did too is we made sure that all the students had an opportunity to write poetry as well as to do their artwork. And what's neat about poetry and art, also connecting to music, they are all under the same umbrella of the arts. And sometimes when we look at a photograph, we come up with ideas in our head. We think of a story or we come up with words or some sort of feelings. Whereas writing kind of has the tendency to do the opposite. when you use poetry and when you write and come up with ideas, what I always tell the kids is, let's say you're reading a Harry Potter book or a novel. If you don't always know what the characters look like, where do the characters come from? You imagine them. And we in turn took that idea and kind of helped out, or actually received the help from Mrs. Ahern. And of course, the Gifted and Talented program, I think Robin Mosier is no longer here. She had to leave, but she helped us get this whole light publication rolling. And speaking of light publication, Mr. David Betts, way in the back, can you raise your hand for me, sir? He was very instrumental in helping us to secure this magazine. Through his employer, through where he works, Chase, it was Bank One before, he helped us secure a $500 grant to help fund this publication, which is a lifesaver because this is costly, but it's well worth it. And I wanted to thank him. And see this little man up here with no head? This is your shirt. We'll take it off later, though. We don't want to unveil the mannequin at this time. But we have a special shirt for him, and some of the students are wearing their shirts, and each of them has a little thumbnail sketch of what they have done, or some part of their photograph or something they had previously drawn was altered to fit into that format. With that said and done, I think my words are done and my voice is going, so I will have Miss Alderman, Miss Susan Alderman, she is going to come up and talk about the writing aspect. And then from there, we'll have our artists come up and read some of their poems. We'll have a little bit more of a conversation at the end. And then again, if you haven't bid on a photograph, now's the time to do that. Or after we're done reading, you may go ahead and do so before we close the auction tables and find out the final results. Okay, thank you.
Hi, everybody. This year was a very exciting year to work with these young poets. And we tried to develop writing activities for our poets, and we started by discussing some of the effective methods that teachers use in their classroom every day. And the one specific example I can give you is that we try to get the students to use writing that shows the reader rather than just tells the reader. And we worked with several types of poetry. And I'm going to give you some examples of some of those types. First, we did verb poems. And that's when you have a central idea and you carry that through by starting each line with a verb, usually an action verb. We worked with news poems. It's called a news poem. We try to use formulas so that they could have a lot of success from the very beginning. And a news poem is just use who, what, when, where, and why. So each line would answer those questions. We worked on a variation of a diamond-shaped poem, which is a poem that starts with one idea and shaped like a diamond, and then halfway through it switches ideas and it ends up talking about something very different than it started out talking about. And sometimes at the end of the poem it's very opposite of what the first word was, and you'll see some of those in the magazine. We also worked on haiku, which was very exciting. It's a poem form, Japanese originated, I believe. It's a poem that must evoke a clear image of nature using only 17 syllables. And this turned out to be a perfect way for us to exemplify, I think, that every word in a poem must be carefully chosen. And it was exciting to watch the students accept this challenge of considering removing every a, and the in order to have better nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Our hope was that these students would have success and experience creative writing that would translate itself into success in other types of writing, expository writing and academic writing that they would have in their own classrooms and through life as well. I've really enjoyed working with all these poets. It's very exciting to watch them come up with these ideas and create writing that does show the reader rather than tell the reader. And now it's my pleasure to give the stage to the poets of the Thomas Edison Art Club.
My name is Kater Hearn and I'm in 3rd grade. Haiku number 1. Rainbow butterfly, gleaming in the pretty sun, flutters in the sky. Haiku number 2. The powerful gray wolves live in really big packs, dash through the dark night. Green frogs. The green jumping frogs float on pretty lily pads, sit in the sunshine. Thank you.
My name is Caitlin and I'm in Mrs. Pico's 3rd grade class. The first poem I'm going to say The title is Megan. Loving Megan, always a nice sister, plays Barbies, keeps me company, laughs with me, reads Junie B. Jones, draws pictures. Kate and Jake. Kate outside on a Saturday morning plays fetch with Jake because she loves her dog. Roses. Roses are dark red, violets are velvety purple. You should like them too. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Katie Miller, and I'd like to share some poems with you. Haiku 1. The new shy mouse comes, steps into the bright sunlight, saying, "Who am I?" Haiku 2. Music. Music of dolphins. Beautiful, flows like the orchestra, yet soft like the wind. Thank you.
Brady Scholler, Mrs. Haynes' 4th grade class, haiku number 1. The tabby kitten stretches out his long body and meows out loud. Haiku number 2. The red cardinal waves his beautiful red wings in the winter air. Haiku number 3. The big white full moon shines in the dark lonely sky seeking company. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kylie Winningham, and I want to share some poems that I wrote. Play sports. Shoot the ball. Score a goal. Slide into home plate. Spike it hard. Secure a touchdown. Hit the puck. Yellow dog. The yellow dog, resting on the recliner on a weekday evening, stares at the threshold, listening for the old man. And here's a poem by an anonymous person that didn't want to read it. Purple butterflies soaring into the blue sky, stretching to the clouds. Thank you.
Courtney Weaver, Mrs. Creasel's 5th grade class. Skateboarding to baseball. Skateboard, colorful, fast, jumping, grinding, turning. Wheels, trucks, long, wood, hitting, slamming, punching, metal, thin, baseball bat. Skateboarding, kicking like a mad rhino, feeling the cold air in my face. Jumping on a rail, moving as fast as a lion, slowing down like a sloth, stopping like a lightning bolt. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kayla McIntyre from Mr. Borgman's 4th grade class. The bear, haiku number 1. The bare dark brown trees, waiting for the winter snow, sit in the cold breeze. Haiku number 2. The light brown dried leaves, ruffling on the ground, sound crunchy and rough. Hot to cold, hot, sunny, bright. Swimming, sweating, warming, sun, summer, snow, and winter. Freezing, chilling, shivering, dull, gray, cold. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jackson Harmer, and I'd like to share some poems. Haiku. Graceful tall birches reach up to the plain blue sky. Majestic trees soar. Timmy on the 13th. Little Timmy on the dark street on Friday the 13th runs from the black cat because he is superstitious. The woods of solitude. Birches, pines, oaks, and elms, the only ones talking, otherwise quiet. Whispering voices fill my head with thoughts of peace. Crow cackling foolishly, solitude, silence, peace is shattered. Thank you.
Amy Finkel from Mrs. Creasel's 5th grade class. Haiku number 1. Large, swift eagle soars, approaching small, helpless prey, has mercy and leaves. Monkey. The small monkey, swinging in trees during the dark night, races toward the clearing to find his banana treasure. White horse. The pure white horse, galloping in the meadow during the purple-red sunset, race faster and faster to escape with the sun. These poems are by Carson Day, who couldn't make it tonight. Old Raccoon. The old raccoon rummages through the garbage on Friday morning and eats a rotten banana. He is hungry. Cold to hot. Cold, frigid, glacial. Freezing, shivering, biting. Ice, snowflakes, sunlight, warm. Swimming, sweating, warming. Bright, sunny, hot. Thank you.
My name is Madeline Ringwalski. I'm from Mr. Borgman's 4th grade class, and these are some of my poems. Reading. Read a book. Write a report. Tell it to your class. Go home. Tell your parents. Read another book. Start all over again. Outdoors. Go on a hike. Look for a bird. Take a picture. Show your friends. Leave nature where it is. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nick Shevnak from Mrs. Haynes' 4th grade class, and I'd like to tell you my poems. The Smart Boy, reading in the library on Tuesday afternoon, tunes out the voices so he can concentrate. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Grant Moore from Miss Coyan's 5th grade class. Baseball. A baseball at the field on a summer evening, flying through the air to win the game. Thank you.
My name is John Rowling, and here's one of my haikus. A single drop of water making a wet splash in a big puddle. Haiku number 2. A snake in a tree dangling from a green branch, hanging there alone. Thank you.
Go to school. Go to school. Learn stuff. Learn more stuff. Go to lunch. Play at recess. Learn stuff again. Go home.
My name is Shelby Snowden from Mr. Boardman's 4th grade class. Haiku. The sea down below, the ocean life all around, and cool blue water. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Weaver. Soccer. The soccer ball rolling on the spring grass on a Saturday morning forces me to run and sweat and have fun. Thank you.
I'm Claire Alderman Worthy. I'm in Mrs. Patterson's 2nd grade class. September rain. The rain rolls in with the clouds on a September morning, tap dances on mud puddles, and gives the flowers a drink. Love the cat. Love the cat. Pet his silky orange coat, cuddle with him, play, catch my finger, secretly feed him, love him always. Haiku. The stars in the sky shine on the deep black water, like birthday candles. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emily Wilton. Haiku number 1. The watery rocks are covered in grainy sand near the fish-filled sea. Haiku number 2. A beautiful owl is perched on an old oak branch looking at the stars. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allie Evenson, and I am in Mrs. Coleman's 3rd grade class. Haiku number 1. Trees wave their branches, seeming like they say hello, yet they say goodbye. Haiku number 2. Fading, darkening, quietly burning black coal. Blackness fills the night. War to peace. War, horrible, sad, fighting, yelling, bleeding, rubble, fire, quiet, better, laughing, smiling, shaking hands, happiness, love, peace. Thank you.
I'm Haley Alderman Mukti, guest artist. Haiku number 1. The wet, grainy sand sticks to gray rocks like frosting in the sweet sun. Haiku number 2. Cold water falls down, released from fat, bulging clouds. The gray sky thunders. Puddles. Deep and swelling pools of mud remind me of chocolate left bubbling on my window ledge too long. Rain droplets fall into pools, sending ripples across the surface like Morse code. But the sweet message gets lost in the chaos of rain. Thank you.
Hi, I'm reading for Matt Romzik. North to south. North, red, bright, spinning, pointing, turning, metal, iron, water, rocks, opposing, turning, shooting, black, dull, south. Thank you.
I'm reading for Jacob Spencer. Haiku number 1. Bright sunshine, stiff wind, snowy white flakes hit the ground, gigantic cold drift. Haiku number 2. Red apples in trees, breaking loose and falling down on onto the soft ground. Thank you.
Here are some haikus by Donovan Barnes and Darren Allison. Donovan Barnes. The great bald eagle smoothly glides through the night air, then rests with her eggs. Darren Allison. Flowers shrivel up, covered by a snow blanket. They are still cold. Thank you.
Hi, I am reading for Kaylee Rich. Haiku number 1. The afternoon sun shines brightly between green trees in the hot summer. Basketball, pass the ball, play hard, aim at the backboard, run fast, score baskets, rip down rebounds, have fun. Night today, nighttime, dark, gray, darkening, dreaming, sleeping, cold, scary. Warm, sun, brightening, awakening, thinking, sunny, bright, daytime. Thank you.
Let's give those kids a round of applause. Didn't you do an excellent job? Be proud of yourself. I'm a little nervous tonight, so I can't imagine how they are, but they sounded so professional. I'm so proud of them. They have written some wonderful, wonderful poetry, and again, their artwork is just incredible as well. Speaking of the artwork, I wanted to just make a special note about the silent auction. We still have some time left. We want to take a short break and have you observe the art again and see if there's anything that you'd like to bid on. Now, let me reiterate, too. When we are asking for the funds, we're not asking for it for ourselves. We're asking for it for next year. And I know that some of our fifth graders are leaving, but they, too, may come back like Haley and be a student, a guest student, and help us out with their publication next year. We want to continue this, and I know that our district is kind of dealing with different budget cuts, and we're hoping that we will be able to receive some funding for this, but if we don't, your contributions will help for next year, so we can continue on with this, put out the publication again, and our goal next year is to buy a digital camera. Rather than having just one of ours, we'll have 3 available for kids, so we're not trying to argue over whose camera is whose. And the unfortunate part was that we had so many kids taking pictures that sometimes we'd lose track of whose was whose. So this will help us out next year. And again, we appreciate you coming and supporting the children, because this is about them, and they've done an incredible job. If you haven't picked up your publication, and again, kids, you get 3 free for yourselves. Yes, Katie says. And you may walk around for a few more minutes. In about 5 to 7 minutes, we'll have the results of the auction. Again, thank you.